Hey guys, so in today's video, I'll be explaining what a down payment is, how you calculate your down payment, and for the first-time buyers, a couple of options that you have available to you to help you get into the real estate market. I'm Rebecca Young from 5 to 9 Real Estate, where we teach you how to use your 9 to 5 to fuel your 5 to 9 investments. And if you like what you see here, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. So diving right into it, let's start off with a down payment. How do you actually buy a property? What is a down payment and what is a mortgage? So a down payment is your cash in the property, whereas the mortgage is what you're actually borrowing from the bank. And based on your income ratios and in a lot of cases your down payment as well, the banks will determine how much they want to lend to you. So from there, how do we actually determine what kind of down payment we need to purchase a property? Well, I have an example here that I'd like to pull up for you guys. It'll be on my left-hand side here. And the first thing to know is that for investment properties, you automatically have to put down at least 20%. And again, this is at the bank's discretion or the lender's discretion if they, looking at your income ratios, looking at your financial profile and the type of property that you are purchasing. In some cases, it might actually be more than 20%, but you should at least bank on having to pay 20% for an investment property. Now, for your own personal properties, the calculation is a little different. And again, income ratios aside, let's just focus on what you need to put into a down payment to acquire a property. So if you're buying a property that is $500,000 or less in a purchase price, you have to put down 5%. If you're purchasing a property between the values of $500,000 and $1 million, you have to put down 10% for the down payment in that interval of $500,000 to $1 million. And if you're going to purchase a property over $1 million, again, you have to put down at least 20%. So if I use a couple of examples to help illustrate this, let's just make it easy and say that your first option is $500,000. So assuming your income ratios align with this, you can put down a down payment of 5%. So in this case, 5% would be $25,000. Now let's say you're comparing that to an example of purchasing a $750,000 property. So again, up to the $500,000, you will have to put down 5%, so that's already $25,000. And then for the extra $250,000 from $500,000 to $750,000, you also have to put down 10%. So 10% of $250,000 is $25,000, and $25,000 plus $25,000 equals $50,000 for your down payment for the property of $750,000. And again, let's just make it simple. Let's say you're comparing that option to a property that you want to purchase for $1 million. You automatically have to put down 20% for that property, or $200,000. And as promised for the first-time buyers, I know these are big numbers and there's lots of percentages here, so you do have a couple different options to help you get into the market. The first one being, and honestly I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know about this, but you can actually leverage the money that you have in your RSP. You can take out up to $35,000 tax-free from your RSP. There's no tax penalties for taking this money out, and you just have to pay it back within 15 years. The other option that first-time buyers have available to them, which is a new incentive that's come out, is the first-time buyers home incentive. This is a little bit different in the sense that it's actually shared equity. So what that means is that the government, for giving you part of the down payment, actually shares in the appreciation that you experience in the property while you have their incentive in the property as well. So to actually illustrate what I mean by this, let's say that you purchase a property for $200,000. So the other quick thing to know is that the government has offered 5% for properties that are resale, and then for new properties, either 5 or 10% depending on the criteria. So let's just keep it simple. Let's say you purchase a property for $200,000 and the government has given you 5% of that to put towards the down payment. So that value is $10,000. Let's say you go to sell the property in the future and it's worth $300,000. Now you owe the government $15,000, or 5% of what the value of the property is when you go to sell it. So the other thing to consider here is that you have 25 years to pay back the government, and you can either pay them off as quickly as you like. It has to be done within the 25 years, or if you go to sell the property, then they will get their incentive back out of the property at that time. So just, quick recap, we've covered in the video today what a down payment is, how to calculate your down payment for a personal property compared to investment properties, and various incentives and programs that will help first-time buyers get into the market. If you like the content that was covered today, please go ahead and like the video. I'd love to see some comments down below on other topics that you'd like me to cover in future videos. And for those of you who are, you don't know where to start, or maybe you still have questions, please feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll leave my contact information below the video. All right, thanks so much guys for watching, and until next time.